Alright, so today we're going to be covering the bomb heist achievements. Now, just a quick note, we are not going to be covering any difficulty-based achievements, so that'll knock out 3 of them. One of them is a stealth one on deathwish, and the other 2 are just the standard deathwish achievements. Another thing to note that I'm very happy about is that there are no mask-based achievements, and there are no grinding or grindish achievements. For the most part, these are all very teamwork-oriented achievements, which is nice. There's only one achievement that I really hate, and we'll get into that later, but let's start things off with done in 60 seconds. For this one, you just have to find the 2 keycards and put them into their slots in the gate in 60 seconds. So I tried doing this on solo, but I just couldn't do it. I think it's either very extremely hard, or you just have to be very, very lucky. I don't know, but it's very easy to do with 2 or more players, so unless you really want a challenge, I would do it that way. Now, the keycards generally, for the most part, will spawn on both sides of the map. There's about 4 areas on each side of the map where they will like shift spawns every time. You'll just have to run it a couple times to find them, but generally you have plenty of time, especially if you're doing it with 4 people. Now you want to, of course, ECM rush the entire thing because it has to be done while the alarm hasn't gone off, but you shouldn't try to stealth it just because it'll waste too much time. So yeah, it's probably the easiest one to do here, and I definitely recommend doing this one first. Alright, so next up I've got the power, and this one is very similar to the one in the third day of framing frame. I can't remember the name of that one, but it's very similar. Now, the alarm does have to be set off for this one. However, you can use the keycards to open the gate in stealth. If you want to, then just set off the alarm after that. It'll trigger a computer hacking sequence. It'll spawn on either side of the map. Now, there are 3 or 4 boxes around the outside of the building where you're hacking, and you'll just want to stick 1 person on every box. The cops will try to shut off the power this way. Now, bulldozers can shut off the power, just keep that in mind, so you'll want to watch out for that. But use grenades or explosives and it'll stop them. All of these can be done on any difficulty, so luckily for you and me, that makes things a lot easier for doing this one. Now, you need to be relatively coordinated as a team, because it's not a super hard thing to do, but you need to pay attention because the time to do this is very long. It's about 5 minutes. Hopefully you'll get like a break in between waves or whatever. Don't run out of ammo or anything, and don't leave the box. Then you should be good to go. Alright, so this coming up is the achievement that I hated the most. It's called Breaking Dead, and you have to find the meth lab. Now, overall this one's pretty simple. It's an RNG based achievement, which means it's completely random, and it's a pain in the ass to do. It really is. Well, you don't actually need to do the heist. All you need to do is take 40 seconds and run around, and there will be ingredients spawned on the map that will signify that the meth lab will spawn. Now, for instance, one of the boxes will spawn in this truck right here. The spawn rate is pretty damn low on this. It's extremely low, actually. You need to be pretty lucky to get it, and it takes a lot of time just grinding it out. I think it took us over an hour of just restarting, going over and over again, trying to find the meth ingredients. And as I said before, I really dislike these achievements. I wish they'd stop doing them. But yeah, the box can be found on the ship that when it redocks and you open all the boxes up, I'm pretty sure you can do it in stealth or loud. I don't think it really matters. You can cook meth if you want to, and there you go.
Offshore meth lab? Clever. A meth lab in a metal box? Not so clever.
Alright, so moving in to the forest heist. The first one up is called Beaver Team, and for this one you need to choose the plane escape, which will cue a sequence where you have to cut down all the trees, but you don't have to do the whole heist here. You can just start off and run right to the trees, and you can cut them down from there, so don't worry about doing the whole heist. That'll waste quite a bit of time if you don't get it. Bring saws, you can do explosives too. I guess if you wanted to do the whole heist and didn't want to bring saws, you could dupe the chainsaw that spawned up at the top, but I don't really like duping, so this way is much easier and pretty good. You need to have a relatively coordinated team. You'll need to find all the trees, pick like a set time, like for instance at the 2-minute mark or whatever, and if one person has C4, have them go first, wait till that tree blows up and then go. All said and done, it's not the hardest thing to do, but it does take a decent team. Alright, so moving into the next one, we have what is called Pump It Up. And you just can't let the cops disconnect the water pipe. Now, there are 2 ways to get water into the train. There's the water pump in the helicopter. This definitely reminds me of a Breaking Bad episode, if you haven't seen that. It's kind of similar. But anyway, what you have to do is go on normal. At least I recommend it, although I think I did it on overkill. Now, the hose can be either long or short, so the shorter the hose, the better, and you can just set people along it. It's another one of those ones where you just have to keep your attention. You just got to keep really focused and make sure you can see the hose at all times. I think the worst place to watch out for is across the stream. They'll swarm down off that log, and that's what you really have to look out for. So you should probably put 2 guys right there and then one along the tracks or whatever. But I actually got this just playing normally. I didn't even realize we were doing it. So I'm assuming that's happened to a bunch of other people. Alright, so our final achievement is called Oppressor, and this one is definitely another teamwork-oriented achievement. What you have to do is get 5 civilians. It can be on any difficulty again, so don't worry about it, but you actually do need to complete the heist. You do have to use the default escape, so don't choose any other escapes or you won't get this. I would say bring one person with sentries. That's what we did. It seemed to work out pretty well. Just make sure the civilians don't get killed by the sentries. That would be bad. You can leave the civilians at the end of the map. Now, we did it wrong. You don't have to get them on the ground. You can just let them run down the hill and then set somebody at the bottom of the hill to get them. There's usually 2 civilians at the bottom by the car and then 3 workers up at the top. I don't know if they always spawn, but for the most part it seems like they do. So it does take decent teamwork, and you do need to have one person watching the civilians at all times, or 2 if you're on a higher difficulty, and then have 2 guys actually getting the stuff from the train. So yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope this helped you out. Overall, I did definitely enjoy doing these achievements a lot more than the past ones. They're a lot less grindy, as I said before, with the exception of Breaking Dead.
Haha! We're in the clear!
Nice.